Will the Senate please come to order? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Aquino. Senator Awa. Senator Chang. Senator DeCoit. Senator Dela Cruz. Senator Elefante.
Here.
Senator Favela. Senator Fukunaga. Senator Gabbard. Senator Hashimoto. Senator Ihara.
Present.
Senator Inoue.
Present.
Senator Kanuha. Senator Keoho Kalole. Senator Kidani. Senator Kim. Senator Lee. Senator McKelvey. Senator Moriwaki.
Present.
Senator Rhodes. Senator Richards.
Here.
Senator San Buenaventura. Senator Shimabukuro.
Excused.
Senator Wakai. Mr. President.
Present.
24 present, 1 excused.
Thank you. The chair has read the journal of the preceding day and approves the same. Are there any introductions this evening? If not, Madam Clerk.
Governor's message number 8 transmits a proposed conference draft to fund an agreement and an arbitration award relating to temporary hazard pay during the COVID-19 pandemic.
File.
On page 2, House Communication number 811 informs the Senate that the House has reconsidered its action in disagreeing to the amendments made by the Senate to various House bills. On pages 2 through 4, House Communication numbers 812, 813, 815 to 817, and on page 5, House Communication numbers 821 to 823 inform the Senate that the House has appointed conferees to various bills. And on pages 3 and 4, House Communication numbers 814 and 818 to 820 inform the Senate that the House made changes to conferee assignments for various bills.
File.
On pages 5 through 7, Conference Committee Report numbers 3 to 23 for 48-hour notice.
So ordered.
On pages 8 through 11, Standing Committee Report numbers 3927 to 3941 for 1-day notice.
So ordered.
On page 12, Advise and Consent.
If there are no objections from the members, we will be taking advice and consent on consent.
Standing Committee Report number 3922 on Governor's Message number 732 for adoption.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous
President?
consent? Senator Kim.
Mr. President, I rise in support of GM 732, nominating Michael Miyahira to the Board of Regents of the University of Hawaii.
Please proceed.
Your Committee on Higher Education has reviewed the personal history, resume, and statements submitted by Mr. Miyahira and find that he has the experience, knowledge, and desire to serve, qualifying him to be appointed as a regent. And based on his resume, Mr. Miyahira has over 2 decades of experience in the banking industry, as well as another 15 years as a chief financial officer for a real property development firm. His extensive experience relating to finance management will prove to be an invaluable asset to the university budget and operations. During the confirmation hearing, Mr. Miyahira expressed the necessity for regents to have a thorough understanding of operations in order to effectively manage the university's intricate budget, as well as asking the difficult, uncomfortable questions that need to be asked. Mr. Miyahira has committed to utilizing his strong business background to ensure effective university operations, board oversight, and fiscal responsibility. The nominee also emphasized the paramount importance of performance-based accountability, both personal and organizational. He expressed the need to address issues and conflicts before they turn into big, hairy monsters or more serious predicaments. Your committee is confident Mr. Miyahira will be successful in holding the university administration to achieving their benchmarks. Mr. Miyahira expressed a strong commitment to rectifying the long outstanding university issues relating to student housing and efficient utilization of the University of Hawaii campuses. Residing on the Hawaii Island, Mr. Miyahira has an interest in leveraging the Hilo campus for his community, as well as West Oahu campus to better cater to the underserved communities. So based on his experience and statements, your committee voted unanimously to advise and consent for Michael Miyahira to serve as a regent on the University of Hawaii Board of Regents. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Senator Inoue?
Thank you, thank you, President. I too rise in support of GM 732. I have comments that I'd like to submit into the journal.
So ordered. Further discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Any reservations? Any no votes?
24 ayes.
Thank you. The nominee for said governor's message has been confirmed.
On page 12, final adoption of Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 45, House Draft 1, urging the Director of Finance to adopt administrative rules to define beneficial effects to the state in Section 38-2 Hawaii Revised Statutes to include the financing of housing.
Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I move for the final adoption of Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 45 HD1.
Senator Decoit.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. Said resolution has been adopted.
On pages 12 and 13, adoption of resolutions, Standing Committee Report Numbers 3923 to 3926 on resolutions for adoption.
Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I will sit
So
down.
Senator Wakai, we get the motion and the second, we get to discussion. Is that what you need, Senator Wakai?
The last one, I was trying to say no to it.
Okay, I did not look your way, Madam Clerk. Note a no vote for Senator Owa on the previous resolution. And I will look to my left better. Oh, Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I move for the adoption of said Standing Committee reports.
Senator Decoit.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. Said resolutions have been adopted.
On page 14, final reading.
If there are no objections from the members, we'll be taking final reading on consent.
Final reading of Senate Bill 3125, House Draft 2, relating to medical care for minors.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Senator Favela, discussion.
Thank you, Senate President. I just want to make my note on my opposition to Senate Bill 3125, and I want to insert comments to the journal, please.
So ordered, so noted on the no vote, so ordered. Further discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Any reservations? No vote for Senator Favela, Senator Awa, Senator Gabbard.
21 ayes, 3 noes.
Thank you. SB 3125 HD2 passes final reading.
Referrals and re-referrals.
Referrals and re-referrals are made in accordance with the supplemental orders of the day that may be filed later today.
On pages 14 and 15, miscellaneous business, reconsideration of disagreement to House amendments and motions to agree. Senate Concurrent Resolution 13, House Draft 1.
Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate reconsider its previous action in disagreeing to the amendments made by the House to Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 13 and agree to said amendments.
Senator Decoit.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Senator Wakai.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. Senate Concurrent Resolution 13 SD1 HD1 urges the members of Hawaii's congressional delegation and the Biden administration to call for the immediate, permanent bilateral ceasefire in Gaza and return all of the hostages and to continue negotiations for lasting peace in the region. The House made various amendments that update the concurrent resolution's title and purpose and includes technical, non-substantive amendments. I ask my colleagues to join me in agreeing to the amendments made to Senate Concurrent Resolution 13 SD1 HD1.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. One-day notice is hereby given for final adoption of SCR 13 HD1.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 81, House Draft 1.
Senator San Buenaventura.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate reconsider its previous action in disagreeing to the amendments made by the House to SCR number 81 and agree to said amendments.
Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Senator San Buenaventura.
Thank you, Mr. President. The resolution urges the governor to ensure that relevant state agencies, including Department of Health, Department of Human Services, collaborate to explore avenues to ensure continued access to affordable medications for the state's underserved populations under the 340B drug pricing program, and urging Hawaii's congressional delegation and relevant federal agencies to monitor pharmaceutical companies and take appropriate actions to protect the integrity of the 340B drug pricing program. The differences were only technical in nature.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. One-day notice is hereby given for final adoption of SCR 81 HD1.
Members, we're moving to the supplemental order of the day. Standing Committee Report Number 3942 for one-day notice.
So ordered.
No further business, Mr. President.
Are there any announcements today? If not, the chair has one. The decking deadline for all non-fiscal bills in conference is 11:30 p.m. tonight. Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate stand in recess, leaving the journal open until midnight for the receipt of conference committee reports, recommending passage on final reading. And I further move that the Senate reconvene tomorrow at 6:30 p.m.
Senator Decoy.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. If there are no objections from the members, the Senate will stand in recess, leaving the journal open until midnight, and will reconvene at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow.